I'm Noah Drum.
And I'm Zach Hall, and we are the Geeks That Speak.
This is the podcast where we nerd out about pretty much any pop culture.
From video games, Star Wars, and zombies.
To music, movies, and comics.
You just never know where the combo will go
on Geek Speak.
On this episode of Geek Speak, we're going to be talking about the finale to The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. One world,
one people.
And we're going to be talking about, the usual stuff, I'm being a moron right now.
Why are you talking
Spoiler
about
alert.
Jim Bob? Jesus Christ.
Spoiler alert, by the way.
Yes.
Just stop. Why? Wait, we tell you this every week. Stop.
I feel like it's kind of like a spoiler for the whole MCU at this point, not just like the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because you never know where we could end up talking about.
Yeah, really.
So you should really know most of the MCU knowledge, but
that's when we just changed the name of our channel. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. It already fits. Okay, no, stop.
Shut up. Okay, so what were your initial thoughts of the episode?
As a whole?
As a whole.
I thought it was a good episode, but in terms of finales, I thought it was kind of weak.
Yeah, it was definitely a little weak. There were definitely weak reveals to certain things. And then not only that, the editing was all over the place.
Yeah.
With reshoots and stuff.
Right. We know that there was a different plot before and they had to re-edit stuff already, but it just there was in the fight with Batroc when Falcon he just says au revoir, which his lips didn't even move. That was voiceover. Yeah. And then he's just gone. He just says au revoir, and then next thing you know, Falcon throws the shield out of the window and just
where'd this man go?
No windows were broken. He didn't go there. Did he run out of the room? Why didn't Falcon chase him? What? What? But anyway, with pushing that aside, I did like the episode.
Yeah, no. The episode as a whole was good.
But you could tell that there were some editing issues.
But it definitely wasn't my favorite.
No. And we'll get into what our favorites are later. But for now, okay, so the episode starts off, and it kind of reminded me of the opening scene of The Incredibles, honestly. We see Sam, dive through a window, and that just reminds me of when Mr. Incredible jumps through to save the suicide guy, and then he gets mad.
Yeah, that was hilarious. And not only that, but he shows up in his new Captain America outfit.
Yes, that's what was in the briefcase.
Which
wasn't really a surprise.
Yeah, no, not by a long shot.
I kind of figured that was in there, and it's pretty comic book accurate.
Yeah, it does look.
I like how the two white stripes kind of make a falcon on his chest.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
No, I did not, but now that you said something about it, yeah.
It is kind of ridiculous, but your shirt has a shield on it.
Yeah,
Steve's costume's always been ridiculous.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? Who cares?
A little modernized.
I have Rick on my head. We're all ridiculous.
You know it, bro.
It's 2020, man. It's fine. Actually, it's 2026 or something in the MCU.
Yeah.
So, they should be ahead of the game.
But, after we see Sam in his new dope outfit, it's a dope outfit. I'm being a moron right now. But,
Sharon pops up.
Yeah, Sharon pops up out of nowhere with the same technology that Black Widow uses in the Winter Soldier with the whole, face change thing.
Right.
And then not only that, she said in an early episode, she's not supposed to be in America because they are looking for her.
Right.
The second she reveals herself, she doesn't use the technology to, change her face back.
And I forget what she says, but I think she says something oh, no one's looking for me right now.
No one's why is no one looking for you?
First of all, if no one's looking for you,
right.
Why were you making such a big deal about it earlier?
Right, you should be taken into custody immediately because you're showing your face in U.S.
Right. That's where I kind of think she was lying, and I think that she's got some bigger role to play.
Yeah.
I don't think she's the power broker, but she's got some bigger role to play. So, like, maybe she's a double agent for someone and she needed those events to happen the way that they did. So she needed to not be allowed in the U.S. and now she needs to be allowed to go there, you know? I don't know.
I don't.
There's more to her. We're going to see.
Like I said, this episode was kind of out of whack.
But you're right. She reveals her face and nobody says anything.
No one says anything. No one even acknowledges that she's there except for Sam and Bucky.
I really didn't even think of that because, like, I'm just like, oh, yeah, Sharon.
Yeah. What are you doing in New York?
Also, what is mercury vapor? She uses that to kill one of the guards?
Yeah.
One of the flag smashers that's trying to abduct the people?
Yeah, I don't know.
Lennox, I think. And, like, she's just like, mercury vapor, among other things. What is that? I need to look that up. I need to know what that is.
Yo, bro. Well, Cap was on his way to the moon. He made a detour, bro. He made a detour. Went to Mercury instead.
Let me see what the old Google can say. What is mercury vapor? I like how it said, what is it used for? So it's like a real thing. A mercury vapor lamp is a gas discharge lamp that uses an electric arc through vaporized mercury to produce light. The arc discharge is generally confined to a small fused quartz arc tube mounted within a large... Okay. Alright, I don't know. So it's some type of poison gas, I guess. For some reason, I thought it had a bigger impact. Unless maybe I should say MCU.
Maybe.
Because obviously it might have a different meaning.
Like most other things.
One world, one people. I like how they know exactly what it's from. Or maybe Marvel Comics, not MCU. Ooh, if I could spell right, that'd be cool. Mercury. Marvel Comics. Mercury is a fiction. I know it's a character. Alright. Google sucks today. But we see Sam show off some nice moves.
Yeah, you can
with
tell
his new shield and suit.
You could tell he was training
like
hard.
He like uppercutted Batroc with the shield at one point. He like stepped on it and just came up, and then he like caught it off the dude's chin.
Yeah, that's something Steve does.
Right. And I would like to point out that we have not seen John Walker do anything that elaborate with the shield since he's had it.
No, the only use he got out of it was literally beheading a flag smasher.
Right. I mean, it's just like block, throw, and then smash.
Nah, you gotta make that into your combo routine.
He's got like 3 moves with it, and then we get like 5 minutes, and you just see Falcon, like, he's using it as a tool. It's a shield, and then he's throwing it, and then he's breaking glass, and then breaking a helicopter door, and like, he's it's a tool.
With the whole Falcon get up, he's using that shield effectively.
Right, it's a tool. It's not just like, I don't know. You're right. He knows how to use it.
Yeah. But yeah. Later in the episode, we see John Walker come back or whatever.
Captain America pops up again
with his welded shield, which I actually like the detail. Well, I don't like the detail that it actually looks like an actual shield. But on the back of it, where like the straps are, like you could tell, like it's welded. Yeah,
it's homemade.
And then you pointed out that his Medal of Honor was in like the side.
If this is his shield where your shirt is, his Medal of Honor is like right there above the strap, so he can look at it when he's fighting.
Yeah, which that's definitely a nice little detail.
I thought that was cool because I thought maybe he was gonna put it on the outside to show people. Yeah. But it's more of a motivational tool for him.
Like, kind of like Steve with a picture of Peggy.
Right. The, what was it? A compass?
The little compass. I think he had a little compass or a pocket watch or whatever. Compass. But I think he had a picture of her in the shield? I could be wrong on that.
Maybe. I thought it was the same picture, though, but I'm not sure. But either way, yes, he did have a picture.
So, like, basically, like, that showed, like, yeah, that's what I'm fighting for right there.
Right.
But to be honest, I was kind of surprised to see John Walker return in the Captain America suit that he was given by the GRC.
Me a little bit too. Like he just kind of made a new shield.
I thought they would have taken that suit from him and given it to someone else if they were to give it to someone else.
Because they wanted the shield back. Also, again, he just shows up, Morgenthau, and nobody says anything. I mean, they were getting abducted at that point, so they probably had bigger stuff going on.
And the fact, according to Carly, apparently Lamar apparently Lamar was.
She
didn't
just
matter.
says Lamar doesn't matter.
I don't want to hurt the people that don't matter.
Lamar's life didn't matter? Not to my fight. Which, I guess I sort of understand.
Like
that is her way of saying she didn't want to kill him, but also, can you not say it like that?
Yeah, like that's fucked up.
But that was probably meant to piss John off.
Yeah, and then this whole Carly thing as well. Like, in a way, you could say she is like, or kind of like Captain America, where it's like what she thinks she's doing is right.
Right.
But she's just again the whole point of like her thinking that she's doing the right thing, but she's doing
too much
it wrong.
Brutality though.
Yeah. No.
Like if you have to like set a truck on fire and then try to run it off of like a scaffolding and kill people beforehand and just like no, you don't need to do that.
No, not
that's
one
what
bit.
that's what I did like throughout that whole fight sequence with Sam. He didn't kill anybody. He saved everybody.
No. Like,
both the pilots, he saved them. Even the Flag Smasher dropped in the water.
Yeah.
And you know what I liked? I don't know if you noticed this. He didn't let the Flag Smasher just fall from the helicopter. He actually, like, when he dove him out, he, like, drove him down and dropped him a couple feet over the water.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't get,
a
like...
fall that high would definitely, like...
It probably wouldn't kill you if you could go down
kill
right,
you, but it would hurt.
Sometimes if you don't land right, yeah, you can fall on water and it'll feel like stone.
Yeah, no, like that shit
like do a belly flop from 200 feet up. See how
I'm good. Thank you.
You'll look like a hot dog that's been in the microwave too long.
Jesus.
But but yeah, so I mean that just shows that Falcon knows how to get the job done the right way.
Yeah.
And Carly, not so much. And I like how when we see them fighting, we get to see Bucky deck Carly right in the face.
Yeah, he just straight up like, hey, don't be abusive towards women, but
no,
he decked her.
Okay, I like that scene, but not because of the woman abuse. I like it because you normally don't see things like that, or if you do, people make a big deal, like, oh, like you just said, a man and a woman don't do that. But it's like this woman,
black man hitting a white woman.
Well, first of all, it was Bucky, so.
Oh yeah, it was Bucky.
It was.
Why did I think it was Sam?
White on white crime? But secondly,
white on white crime.
Secondly, like she's a murderer and a villain. So
yeah.
I mean, are you really gonna say she doesn't deserve to get punched in the face?
Like, and it's not like the actors are actually causing harm to each other.
Well, right, but still, you have to think about it as yes, the Winter Soldier did just punch a girl in the face, but also like, hey, context. You know what I mean? Again, I'm not saying like woman abuse, but I'm
just a gif of that. Oh my God, Sebastian Stan hits whatever the actor's name is.
Aaron Kellyman
in the face. Oh my God, cancel him.
Right. He's canceled now. But I thought it was cool that they showed that.
Yeah. There's actually like we pointed out in previous episodes, this show. Like, we see and hear things that we usually wouldn't.
Right.
At
like
all.
The blood splatters.
The blood splatters. The topics of smoking weed. Of being a pimp.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not at all anything that we have seen.
And that's showing that this show is addressing topics that were previously, like, people were afraid to touch or Marvel didn't want to go to. But also, it's Captain America.
Yeah, I mean, Captain America has definitely
always been
more...
political.
Yeah.
Like, the first issue of Captain America is the picture of him punching Hitler in the face. That's the first issue, and you know what's funny? That's even before the U.S. joined the war.
That is pretty funny, yeah.
So, like, he's always been political. And you can totally see it throughout this series, how they talk about stuff. And even though it's in TV, they're very much commentating on our real world right now. Like, Sam's speech, that was definitely to the people watching as well.
Yeah, just the way that America treats black people, it's definitely wrong.
Any people, like, just everybody should have the same, you know? Like,
yeah.
Just,
again, America, not the best country.
No.
But it may look all pretty, and you might want to, you know,
but we have the power to do better.
We have the power to do better.
But I liked that we got to see when after Carly did drive the people off the scaffolding.
Oh yeah,
John had the choice.
John had the choice to like go after Carly or try to save the people in the truck, and he chooses to try to save those people in the truck.
Which is like the first time that he's actually done something that I think Captain America would do.
Yeah, but
like he's done the right decision.
Of course, he is stopped by Carly, so you know.
Right, but still can't take that away from him. He's making progress.
He tried.
Limited, but it's there. You know.
Give
him points where you can, I guess.
And
then why do people keep trying to throw stuff at Bucky? I didn't show you this when we were watching it, but like they fell off the thing, and then Bucky lands on the superhero landing, and then Carly grabs like a pole and she chucks it at him, and then he just turns and catches it. And it's like, how many times does people have to throw something at this man before you understand his cat-like reflexes? Like, he's got spider sense when it comes to throwing.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, cat-like. Never mind. Never mind.
He's like Drax.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Nothing
like,
goes over his head.
I was gonna say cat-like reflexes. I mean, after all, he's the white wolf, but a wolf and a cat.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It would be more like the Panther.
Yeah.
Yeah, but whatever. I get what you mean. But, yeah, I don't know. I thought that was funny. He wasn't even looking, and he just turned around and caught it.
Yeah, like, literally, superhero landing, puts his arm up to block the...
Right. Like, Bucky gets all the cool stuff in this episode.
I think Deadpool would approve. No, I think Deadpool
would have called bullshit, probably.
No, he probably would have.
He probably would have been commentating and just called out all of the editing mistakes. Honestly. It's probably a good thing he wasn't here.
When are we getting Deadpool in the MCU, bro?
I don't know, but I heard that it's going to be 3. It's going to be a sequel to the other Deadpool movies, but it's also going to be canon to the MCU. I don't know if that means the other 2 are canon or what, but I'm interested. But, as you can see, Deadpool's the guy.
Just Deadpool.
I know my right from my left.
And just Deadpool in this episode would have been great because he would have called out everything that we called out.
It would have been a disaster, but I would have watched it.
I would have watched it. Like, what's Deadpool doing here? Like he's like what? 3 years
it's like a car crash on the highway that you don't want to look at, but you're like, I still have to look. Are they dead? Nope, they're alive. Oh, they don't have an arm. Okay. You know.
Jesus.
Just me? No? Okay. Moving on. After some fighting, we see Carly and Sharon meet in, like
a
building.
Garage or whatever.
It's like the construction site of the building or something. I don't know. And we hear that Sharon is the power broker.
Yeah. And I don't accept it. And not because Sharon's a woman.
It's for sure because Sharon's a woman. You're sexist.
But it's because of how they did it. Carly mentions the power broker, and then Sharon was like, yeah, no, I'm the power broker. And I'm like,
well, no, she actually didn't explicitly say that. It's just, Carly said, how much power does the power broker really have, or whatever? And she's like, more than you. And then Batroc comes in. Oh, so you're the power broker. And then he blackmails her. I'm going to tell everybody. Yeah. Not really. And then she's like, yeah, I don't do blackmail. Bam, dead. And then Carly shoots her after she shoots Batroc.
All right. Well,
so they kind of imply that she's the power broker.
I mean, they imply it, sure, but we see at the end of the episode, she has plays.
I think it's important that she didn't say it. You know what I mean? Like, maybe she's just riding with the assumption that they think she is.
Well,
or don't think she is, for that matter.
Well, if that is the case, hopefully she's not actually the power broker. Because if that was their reveal of her being the power broker, that was the most lackluster reveal.
You know, well, all right, we'll get to more later on the subject, because I feel like there's a little more to this story that unfolds later in the episode.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Wow. I have to keep coughing. I don't know why.
Excuse me.
But then we see, because they split up after they chase them in the parking garage, and John Walker and Bucky catch the other Force Flag Smashers by using their own app against them, which I thought was funny.
Yeah.
And when they catch them, John says this quote from Abraham Lincoln: "Mercy bears richer fruit than strict justice." And that was weird to me, because since when does Walker even know mercy?
I don't know, man.
You know what I'm
didn't
saying?
show Mercy episode 4.
Right. Like, so to me that kind of showed he does have some knowledge in there. He does have some common sense in there, but he's just impulsive. Which, again, is kind of weird to me, because if Lamar, who's supposed to know him the best, be his best friend, says that he consistently makes the right decisions in the heat of battle, and we keep seeing that he doesn't, then I think it proves that he's just more of a soldier, like an army man, like a killer, you know?
But then again, we also see that, like, he is impulsive even before Lamar's death, but it gets worse after.
Well, because he no longer has that voice of reason keeping him on track.
Yeah, exactly. So, like him just, like, killing that Flag Smasher at the end of episode 4, like, that wouldn't have happened if Carly didn't kill Lamar.
And I don't think it's a coincidence that it was a quote from Lincoln, the guy who freed the slaves, and this is a show about some racial things.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that's I'm pretty sure that's intentional.
Oh no, I'm sure it is.
But then we get Carly dead. Sharon shoots her because she almost shoots Captain America.
Yeah.
It's Captain America now. It's not Falcon. It's not Black Falcon.
It was never Black Falcon.
Yeah, I know. Well, to some people it was.
Yeah.
But no, he is now Captain America. The show will confirm it later. But anyway, yeah, she tries to shoot Sam, so Sharon kind of takes the opportunity to kill her and maybe, like, protect her power broker secret, I guess? You're right, that's just bull. It's just weird. But then we get this awesome shot of after Carly dies in Sam's arms and says, "I'm sorry." He's, like, holding her and just descends down to the public.
Yeah.
And his, like, wings are spread, and it's just so cool because he kind of looks like a guardian angel.
A little. I've also noticed, like, it's not really, like, important, but I've noticed that I'm pretty sure the wings on this suit are, like, a lot bigger than his old one.
I'm not sure.
Or they might not be, but, like, just the way that they were spread and...
Well, I think they are different because they're vibranium, and I believe they're painted white now. Well, actually red, white, and blue, but...
But he does look majestic, though.
He does. They might be bigger, though. That's a good comparison that I want to check out now. I can't tell you off the top of my head. I don't know. But yeah, that shot, just like, that was up there for me with the bloody Cap shield.
Yeah.
Like, that was just really cool to me. He looked so good. And then he gives this killer speech.
Yeah.
And I don't want to ramble too much about it, because I'm not as good of a talker as Sam Wilson. But,
yeah,
I mean...
we would butcher his speech.
Right. It's mostly good, though. Like, he points out that the word terrorist could really be applied to the GRC as well as the Flag Smashers, really. I mean, if you look at the actions you're doing, you're still displacing people.
Because something that he did state is that when the other half of the population returned, they were like forced into settlements, by the GRC, and like and the senator did point out, like, oh, we not, like, force them into a settlement and they'd be homeless. Like, obviously don't make them homeless, but they were forced into the settlements. And then we see at the one GRC location, like, they're holding back on food supplies, medicine, like I don't know.
So it definitely is weird.
Like, yeah, you give them a home, but where's their food?
But
where's their
also,
medicine?
Sam calls them out on that. He even says, like, he starts talking to them, and of course, the government guy, oh, you just don't understand the hard decisions that we face. Falcon's like, what? I'm a black man carrying the stars and stripes. What do I not understand about hard decisions?
Yeah, he just honestly, that felt like, honestly to me, that felt like he was just straight up flexing there.
Felt like he just kind of like solid logicked them out of the whole conversation. Like, oh, I liked it. It was good. He makes some good points. And then he says, like, people are gonna hate him for making this decision, for being Cap. He feels it now.
Yeah.
But he's still doing it. He's still fighting it. So,
like, hey.
Like, if he can do it, you can do it. Like, try. And, again, basically just calls them out on their bullcrap.
And during that whole speech as well, it cuts to Isaiah and Elijah Bradley watching the whole thing go down on the news.
I thought it was funny how, of course, it would cut to that part as Sam goes, I don't have any super soldier serum. I don't have any blonde hair or blue eyes.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they're watching that part.
Yeah.
Which just happens to be something Isaiah said to him.
Which, that's another, just the fact that there's nothing special about him other than he's had military training and he has this cool-ass suit.
That's the whole point of Captain America, though.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing
Captain
special.
America has super soldier serum.
No, he does, though, but think about why he was chosen for the serum.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing special about him other than what's inside.
Yeah, and
that's the whole point. You don't need to have powers to be Captain America. You just need to be morally right, and Sam is, and then the rest can come, like, with technology or serum or whatever, what have you.
But that's partly the reason why I love Batman so much. He's just this regular dude. Yes, he is a billionaire, but he's just a dude in a bat costume with
right.
martial arts training.
I don't necessarily like that because he doesn't have the same moral code.
I mean, he doesn't have the same moral code, but like he's this vigilante that takes on supervillains all the time.
I don't know. Batman's just a whole different case because he's
he is.
He's
a different case.
He's a normal human, but at the same time, like supposedly the most powerful being in the DC universe. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy. He's just all over the place. He's in his own category. Don't bring Batman into
But
this.
you see my point, though.
No, I
regular
get it.
dude.
Right. Tony Stark.
Yeah, Tony Stark, Batman, Sam Wilson.
But Sam ends his speech by saying, like, you guys have all this power, so the real question is, how are you going to use it? And then he walks away, and he nods at John Walker. Wonder why.
Yeah, I don't...
Because now John has this power, so he's like, how are you going to use it? Talking to him, like, hey, can you try to, like, you failed as Cap, can you learn from that?
Which I'm hoping he does.
I think he will, but you never know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. And then we cut to 4 flag smashers that Bucky and John caught being hauled away
they're about to be sent to the
raft.
And
what's with the freaking raft?
Yeah, I don't like. Obviously, they're super powered beings or whatever. But one of the guards or whatever that are going to close the door, he repeats their line, making us think that he's also a flag smasher.
Right, one world, one people. And I think maybe he was.
Maybe he was, but then
because I think it's a mislead. Like, oh, they're going to get out.
Yeah.
And then Zemo's butler comes out of nowhere and just like, no, they're not.
Like, they don't show us the butler at first, but we see the truck get blown up. Which kind of sucks, and I'm pretty sure the one reasonable flag smasher that
he was in there.
Yeah, he was in there, so he's dead.
Right.
The
only flag smasher alive now is the one that Sam like dove out of the helicopter with.
Yeah.
who was in the Hudson somewhere.
Yeah. They.
Because they even ask him, like, hey, Sam, he's
There's another
he's
flash
down,
smasher
but he's
down
not
the
out.
Hudson
Yeah.
River or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. It cuts from him, flying or whatever, and I'm pretty sure it cuts to maybe him going to visit Isaiah and Elijah.
No. What are you talking
Or-
about, guy? Zemo's butler
I
murders all
know.
4. Yeah, and then after he murders all 4 of them, it cuts to Zemo
Oh,
sitting in his
yeah.
cell, and then we hear Zemo just happily listening to the radio,
Yeah.
and then he
he's
he
sitting
was
there
reading a
listening.
book.
Yeah.
and then he just lays down in contentment, like, yes, they are dead. Which clearly had to be part of his plan.
Yeah. That was definitely his plan.
Right. And then we cut to none other than Miss Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, lady who needs to get a shorter name.
Jesus.
And she's with John and his wife.
Yeah. And then.
And she actually makes a joke talking about how their friend Zemo must be real happy.
Yeah.
And then she looks at his wife and says, "Oh, I didn't plan that. Or did I? No, I didn't. Maybe."
Maybe. But we find out they're waiting for John because he's trying on a new outfit.
What outfit?
And it comes out, and he's in his U.S. agent getup.
Which is basically his same costume, but the blue is replaced with black.
But my question is about that. In the comics, U.S. agent is more ruthless than Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think he's going to be as ruthless as he is in the comics?
Short answer, no, because it seems like nobody's as ruthless in the MCU as they are in the comics.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, he's going to be an evil parallel to Cap as much as the MCU can make him. Especially since you've already pointed out that this show especially has been one of the more gritty MCU projects. So him being introduced in this, to me, definitely shows that he's going to kill people for sure. I don't know how much darker John gets than that in the comics, but,
But a random comment. It after Val leaves the room or whatever, it's John and his wife hugging or whatever. It's a wide shot, and why is it that John has a nicer ass than his wife? like that's not America's ass.
No,
but
I
it's
paused
still a
that.
nice ass.
I said that. I was like, that is not America's ass, but it's still a nice ass. Like, I'm not gay or anything, but. It's like that meme of Tom Holland and Brie Larson, like how Tom fills out his Spider-Man suit better than she fills out her Captain Marvel suit.
Jesus.
Oh man. But then we get one of the scenes we've probably mostly all been waiting for, and that is Bucky visiting Nakajima and confessing to killing his son. And he kind of just like walks in and says that he was the Winter Soldier and he did it because he had to, and then just kind of leaves.
I don't like that either. I don't like how that scene ended at all.
Like, that did not give me the closure or satisfaction I thought I would get.
Like I was maybe envisioning Nakajima getting a little angry, and then like maybe like going in for a hug, like thank you for telling me or whatever.
Right.
But he just tells him,
and
Nakajima
then the man
starts
just
crying, and then he leaves.
You just leave him crying, like. That doesn't seem like it even had you make amends, and then it immediately cuts to him sending the book to his therapist, which, to me, okay, I think it's supposed to clearly, obviously mean that he made amends with everybody in the book, but the way that we don't get, like, a montage of that and how it's just Nakajima and then he sends the book kind of, at first, made me think he's lying, like he just sent it to, like, just to be like, yeah, I finished it. But also, maybe he did that to make the therapist feel better, thereby amending her.
Yeah. because you pointed out episode 3 that his therapist most likely did see the clips of him fighting the people or whatever in that bar.
I mean, how would nobody see him fight in Madripoor? Yeah, and why wasn't that brought up?
Yeah.
Like, nobody, someone addressed him as Sergeant Barnes, but nobody said, I don't know, this show is
Just
kind of weird.
inconsistencies, man.
And it sucks because I really want to love it. And right now, I only like it.
Yeah, it's definitely a good show.
Oh, for sure.
But at the end of the day, I prefer WandaVision.
Me too. But part of me thinks that was because WandaVision had more hype with it too.
Yeah.
And that's because of Paul Bettany, and I hate him and love him at the same time. That was an amazing joke.
But yeah, he says, yeah, it's gonna be pretty disappointing when they find out it's just me.
Right, but like that cameo tease spiraled into Mephisto.
Yeah.
Speaking of Mephisto, Sam and Sam and Elijah were talking, and he goes, "You ain't no Malcolm or Mandela or Martin,
all M names."
Yeah. And I don't know, man.
House
He said
of
all
M,
M names.
Mephisto.
I think Isaiah Bradley's Mephisto, man. He's got to be. No. But it was weird that he said all M names. Could that be like a Mutants thing, a House of M thing?
I don't.
Not.
Probably not.
It's probably just cool.
But it's probably just a coincidence that like all of the black people back in the day that's trying to like, make movements, their names are all M's.
Right.
Like what is the coincidence of that?
I don't know. Also, though, another thing about him sending the book to his therapist, that also kind of shows that he learned from the conversation him and Sam had. Because, like, that book is how he stayed tethered to Steve. And he kind of got rid of it. He's like, oh, okay, I can be my own man. I don't need to rely on Steve anymore. I don't need this anymore. I can move on. And, like, sent it to the therapist instead of keeping it.
Yeah, he definitely. I feel like he definitely should have kept it.
Me too. I don't like that at all.
Like Bucky.
At least keep one thing.
The Notebook. Like you can't have both the shield and the Notebook. At least keep the Notebook.
Right.
Sam has the shield.
He's never gonna get the shield.
Like,
I really want to see him evolve into the White Wolf, if anything.
I'm not gonna lie. I really want to see that scene of Steve and Bucky having that conversation in Infinity War.
Yes.
Like that would.
Because what else did they talk about?
Yeah, they definitely could have talked about a bunch of other things.
I was watching. Okay, I'm so glad you said that because I was watching a new Rockstars video and Eric Voss was talking, and he said, like, again, he said, how much exactly did they talk about? What if Bucky told Steve where he was going to be when he went back in time because he knew where he remembers his Hydra days, and then Steve went back and saved him, and then they lived out that perfect timeline. It was like this weird theory where Steve saved Bucky, and then Steve went to retire, and then Bucky became Cap, and then he stayed Cap for a while, but then he aged out of the role, much like Cap did, and then he passed it on to Sam in their timeline. And then when Steve came back in Endgame, because remember, I think we talked about this episode 1, that's not the same shield. Steve's shield got broken in Infinity War.
Yeah.
And you are right. You said this, and I said you were wrong, but you are right. He only left with Thor's hammer. He did not have his shield. So he came back with a shield that had to be from his timeline that he created, branching off of Peggy. So Eric was saying that Bucky aged out of the Cap role and then passed the shield on to Sam, and then when Sam aged out of that role, I guess, or whatever, or when Steve had to go back, he took that shield with him. So basically it was Sam's shield before it was Sam's shield. So that could be why Bucky.
That's very interesting.
That could also be why Bucky. Yeah, that could also be why Bucky was so pissed at Sam for not taking the shield, because he knows, like, hey, this is your shield. Why are you not taking it? But he doesn't want to say that because time travel.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That I like that theory a lot, actually.
That could actually be pretty cool. because they said like there's no way that Steve would sit idly by while all this stuff happens.
Because I really want to see Chris Evans maybe one last time.
The way that they keep saying gone and not dead, I feel like we're definitely going to see Old Man Cap one, maybe two more times.
Just Chris Evans one more time, then have that be his last. I know that Endgame was his Endgame,
Right.
But
he could have a couple cameos.
He definitely
He's
could.
especially Old Man Cap now, so, I think they also did that so he could possibly cameo, because then if he gets older or doesn't want to stay in Captain America shape, he's an old man now. He's mostly CGI. He doesn't have to.
Yeah.
He can let himself go, and he can still come and play Cap when they need him to.
Yeah.
Until they bring John Walker in, or now they have Falcon, or I'm hoping they bring Ian Rogers in as Nomad, his son,
and
possibly from the alternate timeline.
I especially want to see a cameo from Old Man Cap, especially since now Sam is Cap.
On the moon?
Yeah. Yo, who are you? Captain America. I thought he was on the moon.
Falcon's got his new vibranium suit, okay? So he's going to fly up to the moon. He's going to meet Steve. Oh, my goodness.
Just, Chris Evans, he's definitely had his time playing Captain America, but come on.
Right.
One more time. Do it for the boys.
I really do think we are going to see him probably one more time, though. Nothing big.
Because, literally, to me, Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. are the legacy actors to the MCU.
Well, of course.
Chris Evans wasn't there first, but...
Isn't that weird how we just, ignore the Hulk movies altogether?
I don't ignore that.
Sure, it was
Hulk
the first movie, but nah.
It was the second, but... I don't ignore it, but it wasn't.
I mean, even before the MCU, Hulk has been Universal's been making Hulk movies for a while.
Yeah,
and nobody even bats an eye towards any of them.
Then they even have a show in the 70s as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I really want Robert Downey Jr. to be the Jarvis to whoever takes the role as Iron, or just whoever Ironheart is.
I found that weird that he didn't use his voice to be Tony's Edith,
Yeah.
But maybe we're going to see Morgan Stark get older and possibly join the Young Avengers somehow, and he's going to be her Jarvis.
I want to see the actress who plays the older version return and actually
Catherine Langford.
Yeah.
From 13 Reasons Why.
Because
I think she's too old.
They have her in a deleted scene.
Right.
But, they don't have to use her in particular, but I want to see them use her.
I don't
because
think
they have
they're
her
going to.
They might not, but you
never know.
You
right.
never know.
But I don't know. I think she's too old, if I'm honest. I think Morgan shouldn't be that old, and we see her grow into it. That's the whole point. Get young characters that are going to be here a while.
Yeah, as much as I do want to see Catherine Langford be Tony's older daughter,
mm-hmm.
the actor who plays Morgan in Endgame, that would be nice to see her grow into it, like you were just saying.
Right. Well, maybe not even that. You could replace her again with an actor a couple years older, but Catherine Langford, seems like the youngest she could play is 17 now.
Yeah.
And that to me still seems like, I don't know, we should start the character younger.
Yeah, it definitely...
Honestly, Eli Bradley seems a little old for me. He seems like he's 20.
Yeah, he definitely did look like a 20-year-old.
He acts like he's 20, and to me, I feel like he should be 18 at the most, and maybe he is. But again, if being honest, maybe even 16, and then we watch him go through what Peter Parker, We finally just now got a good Peter Parker that's age appropriate. So you do that with the Young Avengers.
Obviously, the actor is older than the actual character
right.
he's playing, but he's the youngest looking actor
he's also been in the MCU. When did Civil War come out?
2016. 17,
18, 19, 20,
so
21. So 5 years.
6 years.
So, you can say he was 15 when he was in Civil War as a teenager. Yeah. He would still, even in the MCU, that's 5 years, he'd be 20, plus a time jump, another 5 years. He'd be about 25.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And that's on the young side,
That really is.
if we want to be technical. So it kind of actually evens out. If anything, Peter Parker might be older than Tom Holland now because of that 5-year jump.
Yeah, but during the snap, he didn't age at all.
Well, right.
So
okay, you are correct. So then
so he'd
technically
be
that 5-year
20.
jump, okay, 20. Still,
Or no, he'd be like 23, because of the 5 years between Civil War and then Infinity War, then the 5-year gap between the snapping and then Endgame.
no, maybe 21 because remember this takes place only a couple months after the unsnapping. After the
yeah,
book. So
yeah, Far From Home doesn't.
right.
That takes place.
Far From Home takes place, I think 8 months after the snap,
And then Falcon and Winter Soldier
Is like
and
6
WandaVision
months.
take place.
and WandaVision is
yeah.
like a month.
Yeah, okay.
So
So it's kind of crazy how like they're filling in like
Right.
the small gaps, but they're still finding.
they always seem to work backwards like that, though.
Yeah, which
And
I
I
have
can
no
appreciate
problem
that
with.
as long as it fits in the puzzle,
Yeah, really.
and for the most part they do. But
Like,
anyway, dude.
yeah,
We gotta get back on topic here.
Yeah, we do. We always do
So
this.
Bucky gave the book away, and then we see Sam visit Isaiah Bradley for probably the last time in the series, and Isaiah gave Sam some props and respect actually for
Yeah,
taking on being Cap. And they both talk about how even though he's Cap, it's still going to be a long way from being over. It's going to be hard, but Sam's ready for the fight.
indeed.
He's not going to let Isaiah Bradley struggle
He is
without
the respectable black man that Isaiah previously mentioned that would not be the man to wear
Right.
the stars and stripes.
I told you he totally took that as a challenge.
Oh, I'm sure he did. And
I
he,
mean,
and he looks good doing it.
Yes, that new suit is pretty nice. Speaking of looking good doing it, we see Isaiah Bradley just slinging trees around his yard like they're nothing.
Yeah, like they're not like big boy trees, but they look like they'd be pretty heavy
They're not
for
big
just a
boy
regular.
trees, but they're still like 4 or 5 foot trees.
Yeah,
And dude was just picking up the pot.
just
Like, you're not telling me that's not heavy. And he's what, 70 something maybe? I don't know.
something like that.
So that's just showing you he's still got the super soldier serum, clearly.
Yeah.
But I didn't notice that on my first watch. I was just like, oh, he's doing plant work. And then I looked and I'm like, wait, he's moving trees. Which isn't that big of a feat, but it was just cool to see
No,
that
it's not. But like you pointed, it's like
his
5
casual
foot.
gardening is trees. What?
Um,
And then Sam tells Isaiah and Eli to get cleaned up.
because they're going somewhere.
Where are they going?
Where did they end up going? We see them at the Captain America what's the word I'm
But
looking
why
for?
would they be at the Captain America Museum?
Sam Wilson he got Isaiah a little plaque with a statue.
Oh, there's a nice projector.
Yeah, with a nice
There's a big, like, not headstone, but
Like-
like you said, a big plaque with Isaiah Bradley on it.
yeah.
He
like,
basically
he's
gave
no
this
longer,
man an
he's
exhibit.
no longer removed from history.
Right. He gave this man a permanent exhibit in history in the Cap Museum.
I found it funny as well, because when Isaiah started walking towards Sam, I thought he was gonna punch him for whatever reason. Like, I told you I was supposed to be dead.
Especially when he went his hand up to shake his hand.
Yeah,
I really thought he was just gonna punch him across the room.
knock him on his ass. Like, that'd
I
be
don't
funny
know
as
why,
fuck.
but I agree with you. I was like, he's gonna hit him. Why is he gonna hit him? What did he do?
Nah, he shakes his hand, goes in for a hug, tears
Right.
up. Like,
Well, because Sam even says, now they'll never forget what you did for this country. Never.
yeah,
And Isaiah cries, as he should. I mean, like, this man is supposed to be dead. Well, I'm sure he is dead still.
Well, no,
That's why nobody's
he's
after him because he's
yeah,
still dead. But
he's
Sam's
dead,
like, hey, I
but
want
he's no
this
longer
Black
removed from
history.
history
Right.
now. So
Right. And then we get not like a super anticipated scene, but since Sam is like Cajun and from the South, I wanted to see this anyway. They do like an old crawfish boil, crawfish cookout.
yeah.
We just get a nice montage of
Oh,
them
and,
chilling.
and you see Bucky, of course, showing off to Sarah, like, yeah, I left these 3 kids on my own.
I like that, how he's just like casually standing up on the bench talking to the ladies, just holding these kids out, showboating.
Especially with his vibranium arm,
Oh, of course.
but I mean, like,
But he was talking to Sarah, and Sam explicitly told him not to do that.
He'd be, not to use some old terminology, but he'd be macking.
I mean, even from the old Captain America movies, though, he's been a ladies' man, so, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of thought he had something going on with Ao, though.
I mean, maybe he did.
Maybe after she was like, make yourself scarce in Wakanda for a while, he was like, okay, moving on.
Well,
No,
well,
Bucky doesn't seem like that.
Well, my buddy, he got a sister.
Could you imagine if he married her just to spite Sam?
I could definitely see that.
Just be like, now I'll always be here. Have you watched Paradise PD?
No, I have not.
Oh, okay, never mind then. And we get the end credit card for the show.
Yep.
But it is no longer Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
It's Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
He has officially been rebranded as Captain America. And the public, for the most part, seem to embrace him.
And I find that funny as fuck because I now just realized you mentioned in last episode, like, yeah, they like when we were talking about like if they were to do a season 2, they call it Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Right.
And here we are. Although the show is still titled what it is on Disney Plus,
Right.
the end card is Captain America.
Well, right.
Yeah.
To show that he's finally got the moniker. But I also, because, okay, he talked about that pushback in his speech. Like, I can feel it now. Some of you guys don't like me in the stripes. But we don't really see that in this. Everybody is kind of really supportive.
Yeah.
And I think that's setting up the next Cap movie, because he's probably going to have to deal with racial stuff in that.
Yeah, no, he definitely will. Like you said,
Or
Captain
Armor
America
Wars.
is always been political.
Mm-hmm. I mean, his name's Captain America.
Like, it's going to be political.
But yeah, even if you look at the comics, he's always dealt with political stuff. And for the most part, I mean, like, Marvel's, especially in this series now, doing a good job of, like, calling the government out on their bullcrap.
Yeah.
They're not like a lot of other companies that are like, we're going to slide this under the rug. Good press. No, they're just like, we're going to tell you like it is. You like our superheroes. What are you going to do? Go to DC? They'll be back.
I find it funny, too. They've pointed out controversy stuff that, like, happens, like, behind government walls. But when are they going to point out the controversy in the company that they work
Behind
at?
Disney's walls.
Yeah. Like, Walt Disney, he wasn't a pure soul.
No, he wasn't. But you also can't really blame the brand now for that.
No, not at all. Not at all. Like, Walt Disney, he's been dead how many years, right?
Right. So as long as they are not currently up to any shady things, I'll take it. And then we get, the second end credit scene of the series, I think?
Do we get another one?
Yes, we do, because I saw Captain America forming his shield at the end. And this end credit scene of this episode is Sharon Carter.
You were referring to 2 at the end of this
No.
episode. Okay, just...
Is Sharon Carter getting her pardon that Sam promised her. So she finally gets pardoned by the government. We see the senator, who apparently is in charge of everything.
Yeah, apparently.
He pardons her. She even gets offered a spot back at her old agency, which I don't
make sense
understand.
Because she worked for S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right, and isn't S.H.I.E.L.D. no longer a thing?
S.H.I.E.L.D. is no longer a thing. It's literally S.W.O.R.D. now.
So, but are they even talking about S.W.O.R.D.? Because S.W.O.R.D. is more cosmic now. So would that even be in Sharon's wheelhouse?
Probably not now. but I feel like
I don't like
her,
how they worded that. Like, what old position could she have? There's no
like maybe they didn't mean a position in her old agency because her old agency is Shield.
possibly.
But what they probably meant was like, hey, we could get you your old job back, but at a different agency.
Right, so maybe she's just like a government agent high up. Because he called her Agent Carter, so she's an agent of some kind. But not of S.H.I.E.L.D. She doesn't have her old job. She can't.
Yeah, Shield was shut down literally
So, like,
in the same year that.
bad choice of words. Which, again, you can probably just chalk up to the weird editing they had to do to pull this off.
Yeah.
And if you count that into it, then, the show's actually really good. And I still think it's really good anyway.
Yeah, no, it's still a great show.
I just think it could have
but
been great.
Yeah, definitely could have been better.
Especially like you said, that power broker. Oh, sorry, hold on. So yes, the end credit scene. After Sharon gets officially pardoned, she walks out of the place that she got pardoned in, just like John Walker was.
Makes a little phone call, and she's like, "Hey, get the buyers around. We now have access to technology, weapons,
government secrets, you name it."
Yeah.
She goes, "There's probably something for everybody."
And I'm like, what's the dealio?
Who you on the phone with, lady?
Who you on the phone with, and would your great aunt be? Would your great aunt be?
She would not like that.
No, she would not.
But possibly that could mean, like, okay, so I don't know much about the power broker. I've only been researching it for this, but from what I know, there's only been 2 people that have been called the
Yeah.
power broker, and they've like sort of formed Power Broker Inc., the company that kind of, so I feel like there probably isn't one power broker, but someone who just takes the title.
What if they head down the line of there being like a power broker for like each country?
Possibly.
Like they could definitely do that.
But I feel like there's definitely a partner, and I don't think Sharon's the actual power broker. I think the other partner is higher up than her.
Yeah,
And she
either way,
just,
I
like-
hope not.
Like maybe when because everybody says like it's supposed to be confirmed that she got blipped. So maybe she unblipped at the right place at the right time
Maybe.
and like just stumbled upon. Like,
But where was she when she got blipped
I don't know,
or
man.
snapped?
But clearly she was already in Madripoor doing some crimey-wimey stuff. And then she actually got blipped and then came back, wrong place, wrong time, and then took that opportunity and then is kind of becoming like a mean snake now. But I still think the person on the other end of that phone is scarier.
I hope.
Yeah, me too, actually. Because that
I'm
was
honestly hoping.
underwhelming.
Because whoever was on the other end of the
It's
line.
Ross. No, I don't think it is, but you never know.
But whoever was on the other end of the line, that could be
Would you tell the
Sharon
end of
and
the
whoever
line?
that is on the other end
Mhm.
could literally be the two.
Of Power Broker Inc.
Yeah, it could be the two or whatever.
Probably.
And then them be the villain of the next Captain America film.
I could see that. Or, the way that Sharon ended that phone call, it could kind of lead to Armor Wars.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, it
Because
really could.
she said we'd have,
And
government
Armor
weapons.
Wars is going to be a show, right?
Yes, with Rhodey in it.
Word.
I saw someone on YouTube say how funny would it be if Falcon and Winter Soldier cameoed in that show because Rhodey cameoed in their show.
I mean, I wouldn't hold it against Marvel.
I could see it. But also, I really want to hope that after Bucky reconciles with everybody he needs to, he kind of fixes the Wakandan relationship.
Yeah.
Because I really want to see White Wolf in Black Panther 2.
And speaking of Rhodey, in the first episode alone, he was on Sam's ass about giving the shield away.
Right. But I think that's just supposed to set up, again, that he's a good moral person and he's going to be a big player in Armor Wars trying to protect Tony's legacy and technology.
Yeah.
Because is
that's-
Pepper in charge of that now?
Pepper is... Yeah, because if you remember, she was made CEO in the second one.
So she's got to be in charge of that now. But
And hopefully that in Armor Wars, if that comes before anything else that an Iron person is going to be featured in, hopefully some RDJ cameos. I just want to see more RDJ and Chris Evans.
I feel like, again, we'll probably get some, like, cameos from holograms or something.
Yeah.
But you know nothing big is going to come. It's over, man.
Yeah.
And it sucks, but it's time.
Yeah, they've been playing the characters for 10 plus years.
Right.
And it sucks because at the end of the day, like, I'm not the biggest Captain America fan, like, just from the comics alone.
Dude, yes.
But, like, in the MCU, like...
Get out of my head. I was just thinking that.
Like, Iron Man and Captain America are my two favorites.
No, for real, though. Like, it's kind of really good on a business level for them to do this because now you can introduce us to new characters. And, like, Amadeus Cho. I never really knew who he was before. Captain America, I never really knew who he was before.
Yo.
I knew Iron Man.
Yo, guys.
I knew Wolverine, the X-Men.
Yo, you know how his Amadeus Cho's mom is featured in Age of Ultron, and his dad's name is Phil. Yo, Phil Coulson is definitely his dad, bro. Definitely did not bring that up in a previous episode. No.
From the beginning, you're calling it. I'm telling you, that's true. Oh
yeah.
My gosh.
Like,
I just want them to bring Phil back somehow, but not really undo his death.
Also, it would have been really cool, because another thing that I brought up, what if Sharon was training under the Red Room, the same agency or whatever that Black Widow is training under?
That is, again, possible. You never know what she was doing.
That would be very cool. Yo, and if that is the case, and if I call out both of them, like, how?
Again, dude, something to support Amadeus Cho. We just saw the Shang-Chi trailer. I'm not trying to say all Asian people are in the same place, but Shang-Chi, Amadeus Cho, like, maybe he could pop up in Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi in the trailer is in, like, San Francisco for half of that.
I also saw someone, I think it was New Rockstars, try to say that he was in Madripoor at one point, too.
Yeah, it was him fighting his sister in, like, a cage match, and there was, like, a Madripoor flag.
Yes.
That they somehow pointed out or whatever, and I'm like, how did you point that out?
That's why they're the experts, man. They are good.
And
I want to get to that level one day.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Well, we need the technology.
But like Eric from New Rockstars, like, yeah, I was looking at my laptop like this, like that.
And that's what I've started doing. Like, I've rewatched the Falcon and the Winter Soldier episodes probably like 2 or 3 times each.
Word.
And noticed a couple different stuff every time, and I could still probably rewatch. I kind of did want to rewatch the whole series as a whole, just to see how it flows without having to wait that week gap in between.
Yeah. But I wanted to do that with WandaVision as well, but I never got the chance to.
Right. And it's just too many episodes, and I don't really like the first 2.
Yeah, the first 2 are definitely my least favorite. I'm pretty sure we've mentioned that, though.
But speaking of favorite episodes, that is perfect because I want to do something. Now that it is the end of the season, we got all 6 episodes. They're here. We've digested them. We've crapped out our explanations to you guys. So now I want your opinion. I want you to rank the episodes in order from worst episode to best episode. And if you're not exactly prepared, I do have a list, so I can go first if you want.
You can go first. I'll need to think.
Okay.
And you'll probably bring up points that I probably like about the episodes as well.
So, yeah, I'm just going to briefly bring up the big things that I liked about each episode and why I ranked them the way I did. This might be a surprise, but in my opinion, worst episode 1, New World Order.
Yep.
However, I did like the opening fight scene where we got to see Sam kicking butt in the air. That was cool with Joaquin and stuff. And I liked Bucky making amends. Hi, I used to be the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
I'm now making amends. That was good. So those were 2 good things going for it. But just overall, it was kind of meh. But then slightly above that, so in 5th place, I have to give it to episode 3, The Power Broker. And the things I liked about that make it better than episode 1 is that the opening scene with the Zemo prison break, I liked that. That was cool. The Madripoor monkey or bronze monkey club scenes were good. Zemo's dance, great. And Sharon's fight scene was dope. We got to see the blood.
Yeah.
So that's why it's a notch above. And then in the 3rd worst episode for me would be episode 4. The whole world is watching. I like the opening, the Wakandan scene. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like John getting the serum. I did like seeing that because it confirmed what I thought, that he wasn't powered the whole time, which everybody thought he was. And I'm like, no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
So that was nice.
Part of the reason why I thought he got super soldier serum because we saw clips of him bouncing the shield off targets or whatever.
Right.
There's no way you learn to do that quickly.
Okay, but we saw Sam and Bucky doing exactly that when they were playing catch. The shield has different physics properties.
Yeah, it does, but
Right.
I don't know much about the shield.
Right. We didn't make it.
Other than the vibranium.
But another good thing about episode 4 is the Dora Milaje kicking ass scene. That was great. And Nico's murder scene, even though it was a horrible murder scene, that ending shot, it was just pretty good.
Honestly, I've noticed that this entire show has great fighting scenes.
It really does. And I've noticed from going over this list, I love almost all of the opening scenes to the episodes.
Yeah.
They're all great. And then after episode 4, I'm going to have to go with episode 6. One World, One People. This one. I'm sorry, but the finale was kind of weak for a finale, guys.
Yeah.
I did like seeing Sam's new costume and the shield moves, though. That was nice. He knows how to wield the shield. He's got it.
Yes, he does. He does.
Sam's speech, he's got the walk and the talk. He's got it all. He is Cap. I mean, it was just great. John becoming U.S. agent, I also liked that.
Yeah, for some reason, I didn't think they were going to actually show him becoming a U.S. agent at all.
I thought maybe we'd get, a costume reveal or an allude to it, but I didn't think she would name drop it.
No, not at all. I did not think that at all.
But I also think we're going to get a more proper introduction of the U.S. agent in
for
a
all
different
we know,
movie.
Knowing Marvel, I could see a U.S. agent movie title.
That would be pretty cool. But she even said things are about to get weird, so maybe Thunderbolts are coming. Or West Coast Avengers. You never know. But yeah, seeing him become U.S. agent was great, and then seeing Isaiah's memorial exhibit was just, almost tear-jerking. He needed that.
Yeah, he
and
really
I'm
did.
so glad Falcon gave it to him. And then
bro. He's not Falcon
All right.
anymore, bro.
Captain America, I'm sorry. And then my second favorite episode of the season this far, it was so close to being first, but it's not. Episode 2, The Star-Spangled Man. For me, this was one of the best episodes of the season. I like the opening scene where we got to learn more about John, kind of humanized him a little bit. Bucky and Sam's conversation about the big three, aliens, androids, and wizards, or sorcerers, whatever.
Yeah.
That comedy gold. Bucky jumping out of the plane, that was just really funny. I like that. And then, of course, this is where we got the intro of Eli and Isaiah Bradley. So that was that scene was really good. And I like the staring contest scene as well. When they're just up in each other's grill. In the therapist's office.
Just don't need my nuts, man.
Right. So, that episode just really had a lot of funniness going for it that I really liked. And my favorite episode of the season was episode 5, Truth. And I'll tell you why. First of all, the opening fight scene over that shield.
Yeah.
Amazing. Just on most accounts, it was very good detail. And then we get the intro of Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, girl that needs a shorter name lady. And we see Sam learning more about Isaiah Bradley. And for some reason, any scene with Isaiah Bradley in it just seems to be amazing. So it's got to be extra points. We get that boat fixing montage, which I like, because we see Bucky showing off a little bit with his strength and his knife skill and the flirting with Sarah. And then, obviously, Sam and Bucky playing shield catch and talking, because like, they both needed that talk.
Yeah, they did.
So, just to recap, my pick for season, worst episode, number 1, then episode 3, then 4, then 6, then 2, then 5. That's how I would have to go.
Alrighty, so my least favorite episode, 1 as well. Like you said, the opening sequence, that was pretty cool. But that honestly reminded me a lot of like the old like U.S. Marines, like the U.S. Marine movies or whatever, like where it's like an action scene of them in the air,
or like G.I. Joe or something.
Yeah, something like that. That was definitely cool.
Refreshing, especially after WandaVision too.
Yeah. Since the one show ends with like a fighting scene,
yes.
And then we did another yeah.
Yes.
And then
40 arms later.
Shut up. Then my second worst episode would probably be 4.
Okay. Number 4 was The Whole World Is Watching, where Don killed Nico. Where Lamar died.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, so I don't really like, there are definitely things in that episode as well that I like.
Right.
Like the whole the shot of John Walker standing there with the blood dripping on
That's
the shield.
just great.
That was a cool shot, even though he just like,
not a great story behind it, but when it's a good picture, it's a good picture. Sorry.
Then my third favorite or worst.
I smell smoke. It's hard. I actually did kind of have to sit and think about this. I wrote down.
Yeah.
So I could kind of conceptualize.
We just might have to cut out the parts where I'm just sitting here thinking.
We might have to, but it's going to be a little weird for the video. But what did you say so far? So you didn't like number 1. That's your least favorite.
Number 1 is my least favorite.
And then number 4.
Then number 4.
So we've got number 3, The Power Broker. We've got the episode finale. We've got episode 2, Star Spangled Man. And we've got episode 5, Truth.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. My third least favorite is episode 2. And honestly, I have a reason for not for this being my third word.
Yes, explain.
I didn't like seeing a new Cap after Steve. Like, and just John Walker with the Captain America name, just no.
But you're okay with seeing Falcon wield the shield?
He deserved that shield.
Well, alright, but you didn't say John didn't deserve it. You said you didn't want to see another Cap after Steve.
I think that John didn't deserve the shield. Sam was giving the shield up for it to be in a museum, and then they go behind his back and give it to another man. Obviously, that happened in episode 1, but then we see him finally use it in episode 2.
But it became real in episode 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, there are definitely redeeming things about episode 2. Like, we see that.
But that just drags it down too much in your book. I get it. No, it's okay.
Then
You're weird. I get it.
Then my fourth worst or third best, it'll definitely have to be episode 3. Honestly.
Really, The Power Broker. Okay.
It's higher up there.
Zemo's big episode, really.
Yeah. That's I like it. Me personally, I like it when the hero is quote unquote forced to work with the villain. Like, that's always been interesting to me. Like Batman,
blurring
Joker.
the lines on, like, hero villain.
Yeah, like although at
So
the
do
end
you
of the
like
day,
mercenaries more then, or like anti-hero characters better?
to an extent, yes.
Okay.
I definitely did find that whole episode interesting. There were definitely twists and turns that I wasn't expecting.
Oh, I liked it too because
Yeah.
Zemo just
Like I was
stole the
definitely
show.
expecting Zemo to turn on Sam and Bucky in so many different occasions, but never did.
Right. I am very proud of him.
Yeah,
Good job, dude.
he could have easily maybe not easily have killed Bucky, but he could have easily have killed Sam.
And there were like 2 or 3 times where they did mislead us and Zemo kind of ran away, but he came right back.
Yeah,
He was like a lost puppy. He came right back to mommy.
hold on, guys. Let me go grab his thing.
He was like, I gotta go pee. I'll be right back. He found a tree. He came right back. He was a good boy.
And then my second favorite episode, episode 6.
Yeah?
I did honestly the fighting sequences in this episode were probably the best throughout the series, other than the scene in episode 5
The
of
shield
them.
fight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
of
shield
course.
fight. That's the best.
That's probably
fight.
the best, right?
That's the best fight.
I would have to agree.
But in episode 6, Sam in rocking his new Falcon suit, rocking the shield as actually using it in his fighting, and he's not pulling a John Walker, barely using it. John would only use it to throw, or
John is like one of those old arcade games like Street Fighter where you've got like 2 buttons and combos.
yes.
So it's like 1 button for shield throw,
That's
second button for shield block. Push both of them together for shield smash.
Block. He would only use it to basically block and throw. No.
And we've seen him with the shield for what, like 3 episodes?
3 episodes, and
Give Falcon the shield for 5 minutes in 1 episode, and he finds like 800 uses for it.
like you pointed out earlier, he literally uppercut someone with the shield.
Batroc, that was great. And then the way he dove through the helicopter to get the pilot out of there just reminded me of the way Thor dove through like that frost beast's mouth.
Yeah.
And just like, because I saw that scene and I was like, did Thor just die? And then I saw the hole and I'm like, oh, okay, no, good job.
But just the Falcon, he looks good in that suit.
Exactly. And he knows
And he knows
what he's
how
doing.
to use. He knows how to use. Obviously, he knows how to use the Falcon suit, but he also knows how to use the shield
Right.
in compliance to his combo. And then
Time out. Speaking of knowing how to use the Falcon suit, did Shuri print an instruction manual with it? Like, how does he even know how to use the suit that he just got last episode?
I would say they modeled it after the Stark tech that his
Probably,
old
but-
suit used, so it might have the same things. But it is a lot sturdier. We see him use the wings to stab him to the ground to make his block more sturdy.
Yeah.
Which his old suit wasn't able to do that.
Right, so how would he think to do that? You know what I mean?
I don't know. Maybe
He's just a quick thinker.
Yeah,
He's supposed to
instincts.
show, like, he knows what to do in the heat of battle. He makes good decisions.
Yes, he does. And then you pointed out the whole Isaiah Bradley Memorial being part of the museum. That was great as well.
That was a great scene.
Because this man that was once erased from history now is a part of history, has his own memorial now, and
Now and forever.
yes.
You know, I'm actually interested to see if, actually, I'm not interested. I don't want it to happen. But I wonder if they're going to do some storyline where maybe someone defiles his exhibit in the museum.
That would be messed up, but I could see
It
it.
would totally be messed up, but the whole show's messed up. I mean, look at the country we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's within our wheelhouse.
Yeah, I could definitely see it. And then my favorite episode 5.
Truth.
I'd
I'd have to agree with you there.
Literally just this isn't much, but just that whole beginning fight for the shield,
So good.
I love it because I think John was like, "You don't have to do this." Bucky's like, "Yes, we do."
Why are you making me do this?
Like,
And the way
no-
Bucky just like disarms him real quick, gets the gun
Yeah.
out of there at the beginning.
like, cause he's barely spent time with John, but he knows how he fights.
Well, he saw him shoot a flag smasher episode 2, so
yeah, and the fact that he knew right when he was actually, I don't know if he was going right for the gun
he pretty much
when
was.
he disarmed. Okay, but
It looked like he just started by going for the gun, honestly.
and then then all right, the shield fight, and then
The intro of Contessa, that's got to count for something, really.
yeah, that was definitely interesting. Me personally wasn't a huge fan of it because I knew nothing about the character.
I know nothing as well, but when a mysterious character
Yeah,
gets introduced in the way that she did, my brain can't help but go, ooh, that's got to lead to something.
like I was definitely thinking like, oh yeah, she's gonna play a bigger role later down the line, but I'm not immediately fascinated by a character and want to see more unless I get to know more about her, and
Right.
not just from the comics, but how she is in the MCU. Because as we've seen in the MCU, characters are different from how they are
Very
in the
true.
comics.
But based on her 2 appearances, I think she's compelling enough to want to know more.
Yeah, no, especially after the episode 6 scene with her.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, along with me saying that I have the Marvel Unlimited app, I also have a Jarvis app. And you can type in any name, and usually, not all the time, but it'll give you Marvel characters, and then you can look up their history in the MCU and in the comics. And I did that with Contessa Valentine Allegra de Fontaine because I wanted to see, if it came up with anything. And it yielded some results that I want to believe are true. Like, her name's actually Countess, not Contessa, but clearly she changed it for obvious reasons.
Countess, that sounds
A
like
vampire, right?
yeah. Is she a vampire? Is she really? Is she gonna metaphorically be sucking the blood out of John Walker?
Ooh, because of the super soldiers. Ooh, good. Nice. I didn't think of that.
Because you point out that her name is Countess, like,
I didn't. Nice. That better be true now. That better be true.
yo, did I just call another thing? Like the first 2 things that I pointed out,
Wow.
like I didn't call them yet, but
They're coming. Let's
They're
hope.
coming.
Fingers crossed. But I also learned from the Jarvis app that she was Nick Fury's girlfriend at a point in time.
yeah, you
So
told me about this
that-
a little bit.
Automatically makes her more interesting to me because that means that Nick Fury could be tied to this.
But we got a little off topic.
We did.
We were talking about my favorite episodes.
Well, yeah, you
worst to
ended
best.
with
5.
5. So what's the official list? Worst to best episode. I know we got 1.
Yeah, we got 1, 4, 2, 3, 6, 5.
Okay.
In that order, worst to best.
I don't agree with all of it, but it definitely starts and ends the same.
Yes,
I'm with you there. But to each their own,
indeed.
Some people just suck.
Thank you, bro. But
Again,
anyways,
we actually have to get everything done in a timely order to get that
just
possible.
stay tuned. We do have plans, not just Disney Plus shows. Obviously, the
It's many
focus
shows.
right now is Disney Plus at the moment.
Well, that's
but
because that's the only thing happening.
yeah,
But if we had more suggestions or more things going on, we're going to get a nerd news segment going on, and hopefully we'll have more things to look at.
indeed. So
But
stay
also,
tuned.
to be fair, Disney Plus is going to ramp up pretty soon here in a while.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be getting a lot of shows, but
We are the Geeks That Speak.
and we will see you next week.